Hey, welcome to another episode of Triumph Over Tragedy, everyone. And that's the key, is triumph over the tragedies. We each have them. And my next guest is a guy who told me he lives on a lake. He doesn't know how to swim and he doesn't fish, but he said the view is incredible. I thought about that, and isn't that so true? The view of our life should be incredible. The opportunities that we have, we should look at them as incredible, whether they were opportunities given to us through tragedy. We need to turn those tragedies into triumph. This next gentleman did. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the wise Ed Halbach. Hey, Ed, thanks for being here today.
Sure, no problem. I was looking forward to it.
I appreciate you coming up from what some people call God's country, and that would be Iowa.
I think everybody calls where they live God's country.
Right.
If they don't, they should move.
That's right. You have, so triumph over tragedy. The big thing with this is that first word, right? The triumph. We all have tragedy. Every single person in this world that is alive has tragedy. And each of our tragedy is a different level, right? And we've had some conversation over the last hour, and we kind of understand each other a little bit better and things like that. And one of those things that we discussed in general off camera was basically taking the things that we learn in life and kind of, moving forward. And you had some tragedy, but was quite a while ago. But you're like super energetic. It's been fun having conversation with you. You're alive. And I don't mean just your heart's beating. But I appreciate that about you, and I appreciate that about your situation, that you've been able to kind of work through and overcome and have triumph in your life. So what I want you to do, Ed, is tell us a little bit about you. We want to like you, like I like you, and just tell the listeners, whatever.
Tell the listeners whatever. Well, people... I live in Clear Lake, Iowa, and I've been happily married for 12 years to my second wife, my first one. And I remember the first time I said this, and some people may not take it right, but she would laugh. She up and died on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people say, where do you come from? Where do you live? What's going on? How come you're in such a good mood? Which I'm not always. I'm human. And I say, well, you know what? Why wouldn't I be? I got 3 family members younger than me in the cemetery.
Sure.
And all 3 were different circumstances, which most deaths are.
Yeah.
And you have to pick up the pieces, put them back in your pocket, and move forward. Mm-hmm. You just have to do that, or you'll have a pity party.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the pity party right away. Let's do it.
Right away, right now. You want me?
I think that what you told me off camera was pretty. You gave me a taste, a teaser, so to speak. And you're like, I got to tell you about this, but we got to do it on camera. So I don't know what it is, but I'm really curious. And I think maybe that's a good place to launch from. And that might help people understand why you have a good attitude most of the time, right?
Right. Most of the time, because I am human.
Yeah.
Well, a pity party is when you feel sorry for yourself, right? Yeah. Well, my late wife passed away from cancer in 2002. I hope I got that. I don't know why I get that mixed up. It was January 2002. And we knew for about 2.5 years her chances of survival and beating this were less than 5%. Mm. So that was a journey that we had to take together. ups and downs and ups and downs. But what we learned was you have to laugh about things because you know the end result. Like we talked, as you say, off camera, you always got to know the end result to where you're going or what's going to happen.
Do you remember who said? Remember what I said about that and who said it by chance? I think it's powerful. I think we should mention it again.
The Seven
Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey. Right.
There you go.
He said you need to begin with the end in mind.
Yeah. Well, you got to know where you're going.
Yeah.
If you're going for ice cream, you better know it's Dairy Queen, right?
Right.
Not Culver's or whatever your fancy is.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was towards the end of her life here, and she had planned her funeral and took a ton of burden off me.
Wow.
Right down to, will you take me to the, we owned a couple flower shops, so we knew the funeral director. And I have to tell these funny stories because we just laugh. And she says, will you take me to the funeral home so I can pick out my casket?
Yeah.
I said, you don't have the strength to go. Well, you can pick me up and take me in there. I said, no, I'll call and he'll come over and everything else. Okay. So I make the call. And he says, well, can I come over at 10 tomorrow? I go, yeah, that's perfect. So he comes in the house, and we did the small talk, and we got through that. And then he gets out the big sheet, if you've ever had to deal with it. And I know you have, all the things that you do for a funeral, to make sure you don't miss anything. And he says, and I brought the casket book along. You want to pick out your casket? Okay. So she's leafing through there and looking, and him and I are just shooting the breeze. And all of a sudden she goes, I want this one. And he leans over and he writes down on the paper LGR, whatever it was, the number to order. And he says, okay, I got that. And she looks at me. She said, what do you think? I said, hey, if that's what you want. But I said, do you realize you just made a major purchase without asking the price?
Right. That's good.
And we laughed.
Yeah.
And we laughed. Yeah.
Good. That's important.
Well, we found it was important to laugh.
Yeah.
Because we had a finite time of laughter left.
Yeah.
And but anyway, back to the pity party. So after she passed away, I was kind of lost. We had no children. We had a ton of support of family and friends. And I was sitting there one night. TV was on, but my brain wasn't engaged.
Yeah.
And I thought, how am I going to do this? Here I have.
Do you remember what you were watching?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
It was white noise. Who knows? It could be. And finally I realized, you know what? She doesn't want me to sit here. She gave me marching orders before she died. You have fun. You be successful. Go after it. Get married again if you want. Don't worry about me. I'm in a better place.
Yeah.
And I thought, these are my marching orders. I got to do this. If I would stay sitting on this couch, I shouldn't give this visual picture of me, but I might, in my flannel sleep pants and with a bag of potato chips and an Afghan up around my neck.
Yeah.
Having a pity party.
Yeah.
I'm going nowhere as fast.
Yeah.
I have to get up and go because she would literally tell me to stand up, kick my you-know-what across the street. Because that's how strong a woman she was and how she wanted me to live the rest of my life.
Yeah. How old were you? Approximately. I mean, we
47.
Don't need to... Sure.
I'm not 47 anymore. Look at this white.
Right. At this point in your life, you've experienced life, right? I mean, in other words, you're not 17, 18 years old and you went through this with a parent or with a close friend or whatever else or, whatever. So you've experienced life. You understand how it works. And yet you're still sitting there wrapped up in your Afghan.
I think Grandma made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and anyway, I just had to take the bull by the horns,
Right.
and move on, because I lost a brother when I was 21 years old and he was 16. That was, I don't even remember other than I was angry, you know, and now I lost my wife, and she was everything I wished I could have been.
Yeah.
But I think I've gotten there now. I think she's pretty proud of me.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot. And then I learned how much family and friends mean. I was overwhelmed. And I'm sure you were too. I mean, I had invitations and go here and go there and here's tickets and, you know, crazy.
Yeah.
And I thought, me? What? Well, I think she gave other people marching orders too.
Sure. So at 47 years old, you learned something?
You think?
That's good. Isn't that huge?
Yeah. And I still learn every day.
Nice.
About business, about life,
Yeah.
about how to treat people, how you don't know what you got till it's gone. There's a song about that, isn't there?
It sounds familiar.
Okay. So
Are you going to sing it for us, Ed?
not today. I'm not warmed up yet.
Okay, all right.
You know,
Yeah.
and I didn't bring my background music.
Sure.
Yeah, but another time.
Yeah, okay.
So this is a story, and I'm going to leave it very generic.
Okay.
I was at a social event, and the women were all in one room, and the guys were standing around.
Okay.
And I'm proud of what I did. And nobody said a word. The guys are all standing around, and this one guy said, yeah, me and my old lady, which irritates the hell out of me when somebody says that.
Yeah.
We went here, and I'm not going to say where because this could be uncovered.
Yeah.
And we did this, and we did that, and then this and that, and you know, my old lady this and everything else. And then he started in bitching about her, a few things that, you know, she was spending money, and no. Nobody really said anything. And we were kind of in a circle.
Okay.
So I stepped forward, probably 5 feet from the circle was maybe 12, 15 feet around. There were probably 10, 12 guys standing around, everybody with a beer in their hand. Mm-hmm. And I walked up to him, and I go, was that your wife you were talking about? Well, yeah, the old lady. And this was probably a year and a half after my wife passed away. And I said, you know what? There's a song that says, you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah.
I'd give her a little more respect than that.
Yeah.
And I stepped back into my circle, and there was silence for a long time. I don't know how long, but it's like, boy, don't cross him. He'll get in your face.
Yeah.
And I felt a little bit bad about calling him out, but I'm proud of it now.
Yeah.
Because some people need to be called out. I need to be called out every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know, just in my life. And then, you know, you talk about how you pick up the pieces and move on. Everybody has to. Mm-hmm. And with different circumstances. I was in my office one night, Saturday night, 7:30, 8 o'clock, trying to figure this all out because Treese was my business partner as well. Mm. And there's an empty chair and an empty workspace because we had a long counter that we sat at and one big old computer monitor in the middle.
Probably not a flat screen in 2002. Probably a really big, like we're talking
3 feet deep,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
And 19-inch screen, and we just upgraded.
Right.
So I'm sitting there, and I thought, how am I going to do this? Because I wasn't the most organized person in the world. There were things that she did, business-wise, and that I did. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we sat at our desk after church on Sunday morning, and we planned our week. Mm. And then sometimes you had to plan who you were going to pay and who you weren't going to pay.
Yeah. Small business.
Yeah. And so we did that, and that was a night that I remember very clearly, just my own thoughts. Mm. And it's like, buck up here, buddy. It's time to shine. And I took a different attitude every day since that, because it's either sink or swim.
Yeah.
And I can't swim in water, and I've tried, and I've had people try and teach me, but I can swim in life.
Yeah. You've tried to swim and you can't, huh? No? That's interesting. Like, what age were you when you were trying to swim, when being taught?
Well, 2 years ago, I had a
2 years
lifeguard
ago?
try to teach me in Mexico, and it didn't work.
Okay. Language barrier, or did he speak, or he
No,
or
he
she
was a friend of mine. He says, I used to be a lifeguard. I can teach you how to swim. I said,
Sure.
let's go.
Yeah. So it's not that you're afraid of water.
No.
Yeah, okay.
The beauty of getting older and having white whiskers, you're afraid of less and less all the time.
Okay.
I wasn't afraid to come out here in God's country, Minnesota,
Right.
to come to a stranger's house that I'd only texted and emailed and talked on the phone a couple times.
I'm a public figure, so I'm pretty public, so at least you got that going for you.
I always have a backup plan.
All right.
Don't have to implement
Is it right? Are you packing?
You never know.
Yeah, right. I don't need to know.
No.
No.
Good.
Yeah.
So
No, that's what I'm saying is, like you said, swim through life, and what I'm saying there is that, you've tried to do those things. You've tried to learn to swim, and some of the things actually we talked about off camera as well. But the key is try, and not to, even at your age, to not try.
why wouldn't you?
That's so crucial.
Yeah.
So crucial.
Why wouldn't you?
And I think I agree. I think we live in a society, though, where it's not encouraged to try. Like,
I missed that email.
that's because it wasn't an email back in the day. It didn't exist. And when you sit back in some of those situations, and I work with, I go to, this year I actually won't do as many because I took this entire fall off, but it's for school work that I do. But generally speaking, I go to about 40 to 50 schools every school season. And so
Nice.
what I see and talk to some of the students and things like that, and for them is it's like, well, if you don't like it, don't try it, right? And some of those kinds of things. And I'm like, well, there's probably certain things that's good. Don't try it. But those are the things they try. Anyway, I digress. But the point is that it's hard for this generation, I feel, or maybe not this generation, but the students that are coming through middle school and high school right now is that they don't have to try things, and I see that, and I feel like that's so dangerous because trying things prepares us for swimming in life.
It lets you fail. Because if
Exactly.
you don't fail once in a while,
Yeah.
I was just talking to a buddy of mine on the way up here today, and he had two things that he was proposing to somebody, and he says, I got shot right out of the sky. Mm-hmm. I says, you going to go to somebody else? He goes, why wouldn't I? That's why we're friends,
Sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not today, but
Yeah.
no, that's just kidding.
But, you got to try.
Yeah.
It's even like new foods. I mean, you don't get to be my size by not trying all the foods, right?
There you go.
That's what I tell my grandson.
Yeah.
He's 5. I don't think I like that. Well, try it. I don't want to try it. He says, you're never going to get as big as me if you don't try it.
Yeah.
He's my step-grandson, so he probably won't get as big as me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you're tall too, so at least that's good, right? You get stretch it out a little more.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd go with it.
I'll come back like I do with a lot of people that say, boy, you're a big guy. I says, was that a fat joke?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, so no, I just kind of wanted to make that point, right? Because you are trying to do things in life still. You're a busy guy. Like, I'm not sure. I feel like I'm busy, and I'm not sure that I could keep up with you.
It doesn't matter. You're you. I'm me.
Yeah.
Good. Thank goodness there's not a lot of Eds in this world.
I agree. I mean, yes, that's good.
I caught you on that one. Set you up and boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. My wife thinks I take on too much too, but I always give her time, and I'm lucky I've met her. She's very understanding. Yeah, it's she's not my late wife by any means, but then my late wife is not her.
Yeah.
And
that's good.
My life has completely changed. I don't live where I lived anymore. I have sold my businesses. Well, I've started other stuff, but that's who I am. Mm-hmm. And somebody will see me, haven't seen me for a while, and they say, "What are you up to now?"
Yeah.
Well, where do I start?
Right. When did I see you last? Was that last week or?
Yeah. You want the short answer?
Yeah.
Staying busy.
Yeah.
And then everybody's version of busy is different.
Correct.
You know, I'm 4:30, 5 o'clock a.m.er.
Yeah.
I'm a 8:30, 9 o'clock go to sleeper.
Sure.
Some people, I have friends that, you know, if they don't have to work, they're not going to get out of bed till 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
You're wasting your life.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Their opinion is they want to get more sleep because they didn't have to get up to go to work. That's fine.
Yeah.
We're all different.
For sure. Yeah.
Some people have hair. Some people don't.
Yeah. Who are you talking about?
I don't know. Is there a mirror around here?
Well, some people just listen. Not everybody watch.
That's true. That's true.
I have hair. Ed doesn't. Just for the record.
My granddaughter says, "Papa, you don't have any hair."
Yeah.
Okay.
You tell her to look up your nose and
no,
show her that you do.
I don't want to teach her that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull my finger. Yeah, whatever. That's just
good. Tell us more about your experience there and how some of those steps that you're now taking that Afghan off, you're getting up off of the couch. What did that look like for you?
It was invigorating and challenging. Mm-hmm. And as my friends and family saw it, they supported me. I didn't realize it then, but as I look back, I supported it. And I've kind of gained... I still have my old friends. You know, you got friends for life.
Sure.
And some are acquaintances. Mm-hmm. And it's like I told you off camera, everybody has their own board of directors.
You're talking personal board of directors.
Personal board of directors. I have 7 people on my board of directors. One guy who's my buddy who I referenced earlier, we talk every day before 11, or the joke is the earth will go off of the axis by 1/2%. That's the joke.
Sure.
And I have friends on the East Coast. I have a friend on the West Coast. These people don't know each other.
Yeah.
But for every one of my crazy ideas I come up with, or I need to talk to somebody other than my wife, because you need different inputs. Mm-hmm. You throw it at the wall and see if it sticks.
Yeah.
I choose to call one of them.
Yeah.
And I have a good friend in Minneapolis who's told me that I had my own personal board of directors.
Sure.
And I'm on hers.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And sometimes
some people would call them mentors or coaches or whatever, but let's
go corporate.
But that makes sense.
And
because the board of directors is looking out for the whole, for the whole picture, right? The best of the whole, not just for an individual need or whatever. But
not to line their own pocket or beat their chest or anything else.
Yeah.
There, what's good for Ed?
It's for the whole. It's the big picture.
Yeah, and some of them I don't talk to for over a year.
Yeah,
and now, unfortunately,
because you don't like what they say or what?
No, I don't have. They have a busy life too.
Yeah.
And what needs to be asked or said, I don't think they get it because they don't think the way I think. And I've been shot down by my board of directors, and that's why you have them. So you do get shot down.
Yeah.
Because even though you might think it's cool in your mind, or it's going to be successful or profitable or fun, you might be skewed a little bit because it's only in your gray matter, so you got to throw it out to somebody else.
Yeah.
And they go, "Really, Ed?
Yeah.
Really? Thank you." What do you do?
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Maybe I should diversify a little bit because I have pretty specific, I have my team, and they're freelance and volunteers and stuff at this point. But I also have some mentors, but it's not as many as what you have. I call them mentors because, they help teach me. Like,
well, sure they do.
But it's the board of directors is really like,
yeah. And the more you open up to them, the more feedback you'll get back.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very true.
And there's a card game like that too, but just in life. And so I have grown so much after getting my marching orders and having to stand on my own 2 feet myself and be responsible for me. I can't lean on her anymore, which I did a lot, and I learned a lot from her. She was a very smart businesswoman, very articulate, everything else. So I took what I learned in the 22 years we were married, and I implemented them. And then I came up with Edisms as well to, move forward and to keep a good attitude.
Yeah. Why move forward and not move on? I've noticed through some of our conversations you said move forward, and you haven't said move on.
Now you're going to make me think. I have no rapid response for that. I'm going to have to ponder that.
There is something very specific, like my daughter died in a car crash, as you know, and so what I call it and how I would verbalize it is moving forward is taking something with you, because you, like you had mentioned before, and I can't even remember if it was on camera or off camera, but the clock keeps moving, right? And so the clock keeps moving, it keeps moving forward. It never goes backwards.
That's right.
Unless it's Back to the Future, but or Terminator or whatever. But,
I just remember Back to the Future.
I'm not sure if those are real, but, they're entertaining at least.
Sometimes that's what you need, is just pure entertainment.
For
Get
sure.
rid of the thinking so hard and the facts and making decisions. You just want to be entertained.
You can't stay there and live there.
No.
Right? Absolutely. I know that's what you're thinking. But anyway, moving forward is like the earth doesn't stop spinning. Whether you call your friend before 11 o'clock or not, it doesn't change, right?
He's going to laugh when he hears this.
Yeah, good. And so because it keeps moving forward, because time keeps moving forward, we have to move with it. It will either move us or we have to move with it, right?
Right.
And so moving forward is I take my daughter with me, whether it's seeing my grandson or whether it's speaking at a school or doing whatever other thing that you do, she comes with. Moving on is leaving something behind. I am moving on from that. My business burned to the ground, unfortunately, in a lot of wild, weird circumstances. I had to move on from that. I really didn't have a choice. I literally just got a text the other day from one of my customers from 2000, and I think the first time they purchased was 2006 or 7. And he's like, man, we miss it. We want to be able to do this, but we're so proud to have your handmade product, right? But it burned to the ground. There was no recovery, and I moved on from that business. I had to. And so I think that's so important to help people understand is as you move forward. And I think that even though you didn't understand the way I verbalize moving on versus moving forward, because of your nature, moving forward was natural.
Yeah, I don't like to put, the only time I put reverse in on the car is when I got to get out of a spot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're moving forward.
Yeah. So that's your nature moving forward. And if you would have stayed on the couch in your flannels and Afghan and things like that, guess what? You would have not done either moving on or moving forward. You just wouldn't move.
Yeah.
And so people, when I speak with people, especially in small group or one-on-one, and Q&As even, they ask the question, well, this happened to us and my son died, and they'll tell the circumstances or whatever, and sometimes not. And, I just can't move on. Well, why are you trying to move on? Don't move on. That's, to me, foolish. And I don't mean that to offend people, but moving on from your child or moving on from a parent or whatever else, no, bring them with you. Move forward. It's in your nature to move forward. I just get that sense from you. And that's why I was wondering if you ever thought about that. Move on, move forward.
I haven't until you brought it up, and I think if you line up 100 people, 50 people will move on and 50 people will move forward. And that's just the way we articulate the words.
I don't, perhaps. I'm not sure. That would be an interesting study.
But you're more steadfast in those words than I am, because I don't see a whole lot of difference. There is a difference, but not enough to change my vocabulary. You're not going to convert me to
And I'm not trying to convert you. That's my point is that you just came by that by your nature, because you just move forward. You learn from what happens and you move forward. And because we have to move forward. I mean, because the
clock does.
It's exactly.
And we only have so much time on this earth, and we don't know how much time we have. And I realize it. I'm in the fourth quarter. There's no timeouts. I got a lot I need to accomplish.
Yeah, we're all in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
My daughter was nearly 18 years old.
Yeah.
She just didn't know she was in the fourth quarter.
Right.
You know, we're all in the fourth quarter. This is it.
Yeah. No dress rehearsals. Go
None.
for it. I was listening on Facebook early this morning, and I don't remember her name. She's a life coach, and it was an ad, and it was 10 minutes, and it's like, okay, I'm going to listen.
A 10-minute ad?
What? It was a video, but she was saying, okay, to learn more of this.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so sure, like it was a promotional. Yeah, got it.
And she said, "No, I lost it when you questioned me."
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. It's old age. Anyway, it'll come back to me.
Sure. Think about the video and what it was, and so what. I always like to find out what advice you would have and what advice you would give a person that might be in a similar circumstances, what you would. And if you don't mind, let's walk down the path of do's and do nots. There's people in my life currently that, they have cancer, and quite frankly, I'm confused on what to do and what not to do. And so this is for me. And maybe somebody listening might benefit from it too, but the do's and do nots. What do I do
for somebody that has cancer?
Yeah, what do I do?
Just be there for them.
Yeah, just show up.
Just show up.
Yeah,
just sit with them. Just be a human being. Yeah. Show a little compassion. Laugh. Just be a good human being and be there for them. Just your presence makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even have to say anything. I've been told that before.
Don't say anything?
It's like, yeah, that's going to happen. But you just need to be there for them.
Yeah.
A text message, an email. Just like the guy this morning I told you, his wife is terminally ill. And I sent him a note. Let me know what I can do. If you want to talk, let's go.
Let me know what I can do. I've toyed in my life with that phrase, right? Let me know what I can do, or whatever. Is that a negative? I mean, from your perspective, is that a negative? Because what I'm saying is let me know what I can do.
It's a generic way of reaching out and not being specific.
Yeah. So.
You can go get me a glass of water, or will you go? We'll go clean my car out for when I get to go home. So you don't know specifics. So you just throw a blanket over. I want to help you. Tell me what I can do. If you don't tell me, I don't know.
So I agree with that. I think that some people use that line, and not saying you do it all. I'm just saying that I think some people use that line to kind of get out of actually doing anything. Like,
Well, then they're not very sincere.
No, right. But I think that happens quite a bit. I've seen it happen. I don't think. I know it happens quite a bit. So, because like, I think you're a very independent person. Like, you're going to trudge right. You're going to trudge through something. You're going to get it done. You're probably not going to admit that you need help. All those things, right? And there's many more I could throw out. But I'm the same way. So there's a lot of times, like, I'm not going to say anything to anybody, and I really need something, right? So let me know what you need. I'm probably not going to tell anybody. What do you say to me? Well, how you knowing that about me right now? I'm in trouble in some fashion. I have a broken leg. I have cancer. I have whatever. You message me, say, I heard this. What do you say to me? You know I'm independent. You know I need something.
What are your plans when you heal?
Okay. That's good.
I'm coming over and bringing pizza and beer.
Yeah.
Don't give that person a choice to have a pity party.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do.
And that's exactly what I was wondering. Like, that's important, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's important, not to give them the opportunity to say what they need, but actually show up and say, here's what I'm going to do.
I was working closely with somebody once, and I'm not going to get too specific about it. But I found out, instead of asking what I can do or can I do this, you come with a solution.
Sure.
Because then it's a yes or no.
Yeah.
They don't have to think.
Yeah.
And it makes them feel good. Because,
yeah.
Oh, they're taking care of me. They're bringing pizza and beer. Is it pepperoni? You know? Or instead of, hey, would you like me to bring some food in? Then you got to decide, well, what do you know, yeah, that would be good. Well, what do you want me to, oh, I don't know. No, just tell them. This is the way it's going to be. Then they don't have to make the decision.
Yeah.
That's the easy way to do it. You got to be a little forward. And you learn that when you get older, too.
And I think it's important that you have
tactfully.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's important that to have a servant's attitude. And I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying I think it's important to have a servant's attitude, right? Yeah. And I'll never forget
the attitude of gratitude.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't remember who said that.
Yeah, I don't either, but I remember. Like, yeah. So I tell this story often to people. I don't think I've ever said it publicly like I am about to now. And I'm not going to reveal who it was, but a very prominent business person in this area in Rochester, he showed up and he mowed my lawn. I mean, we're talking a prominent. He doesn't mow his own lawn. He doesn't have time for that.
Made him feel good.
I'll never forget it.
No.
I'll never forget it. He didn't say, what do you need?
Yeah.
He showed up and he saw what I needed and he did it. When you're in the frame of mind that you were at, sitting on the couch like you were, and someone shows up, is that good, or is that, what do you?
For me, it would be good.
Yeah.
But everybody do it differently. Some people wouldn't answer the door.
Yeah.
You know, because they got a pity party going and they're having a good time because it takes no effort. They didn't have to wear something in specific. They didn't have to get food ready. They didn't have to clean the house. They didn't have to do all that.
Yeah.
That's a pity party.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like that. It takes effort to answer the door, invite somebody in, put a smile on your face, but you feel better about it and they feel good too.
Yeah. Yeah. So show up.
Hello. Yeah.
It's good. I need to do a better job of that. I mean, I
need to do a better job of everything I do.
Yeah. Because there's opportunities that I've missed and I didn't show up, and I could have, should have.
And once that's over, it's gone.
Yeah.
It's like, and I don't remember who it was and how many years, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're trying to be generic here. The one guy showed up for something, and somebody else says, well, doesn't your son have a birthday party? Well, he'll have another one next year. And I thought, where in the heck is your head stuck?
Yeah.
You know, he's only going to turn 3 or whatever it was once.
Yeah.
You should have been there for him. But
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to show up.
Yeah. Even if it's for a little bit of time. I think it's important, and I'm learning that.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't, you know, if you go visit somebody who's ill, okay, or in the nursing home. I'm going to stop and visit my uncle tomorrow who's in the nursing home.
Yeah.
Will he be very cognitive? I don't know, but I'm going to show up.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be within 50 miles of him.
Yeah.
So I'm going.
Yeah.
And I'll feel better about it. I think he'll recognize me, but,
But you'll never forget it.
Nope. I'll be there.
You'll never forget it.
And I learned that.
Yeah.
You learn that as you go through life.
Yeah.
And fortunately or unfortunately, when I show up, my personality shows up, or my voice shows up, or my sarcasm shows up.
Sure.
Case in point, 8 months ago, my largest client, they had a new building. Oh my goodness, the security to go through. You had to sign in. Used to be the old one. I could go in and go right to the men's room because it was a long drive for me, and then
Right.
then make my appearance. Now I got to go through. So then somebody's got to sign me in. Then I got to wear a badge and everything else. So I'm having a fun time. It's like, is there anything else you need? You need to draw blood or anything?
Right.
We get through here. And the VP of the company comes out and says, I knew Ed was in the building. I could hear you. And then I saw the shadow because it was in the morning and their building faces east, and they saw my shadow. I said, yeah, I can't hide. Yeah. But you know what? I put a smile on his face just by being me.
Yeah.
And I've learned how to do that, and I've come by it naturally, and I gained that from my mother, from my siblings, from other. You just collect knowledge. It's like somebody that collects coins or reads a lot. When you're 20, 21 years old, you don't have many, but if you don't throw any out, all of a sudden you got a pile of coins, or you got 2 bookshelves full of books, or whatever. It's the same way with your brain. You just keep collecting stuff.
Yeah.
And the gray matter gets fuller and fuller. My grandson told me one day something. I go, and he just turned 5. And I said, where did you learn that? YouTube, Papa. I go on YouTube because I got a lot of room in my brain to learn things.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, then.
Wow. Yeah. What's YouTube? Not kidding. Obviously, we're on YouTube. Yeah, that's powerful. It's true. Like we have to do those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To keep moving or moving forward.
Yeah.
Unless you're comfortable on the couch in the Afghan.
Yeah.
And some people are.
And there's a period of time that I think that's okay.
Yeah.
For sure. And I've been there. I'll probably be there tonight.
Yeah.
But and I say that just as a joke, but we have to understand, don't we, that it's not a place to live.
No, you don't want to camp out there.
Yeah.
If you do camp out there for a night, that's okay. You experienced it, but pick up your stuff, roll your sleeping bag, wash your coffee pot, and move.
Yeah. Bear's going to come and get you.
Well, something will bite you. And it doesn't. You have to engage yourself in society again.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're... I'll leave that one alone. Unless you're somebody that doesn't need the money... you probably have a job, right?
Right.
You got to show up at. Mm-hmm. Even though some people I talked to my plumber just recently because we're going to do a little bathroom remodel, and he's a couple of years older than I. And I says, how long are you going to stay in business? I don't want to hire somebody that's not. And he goes, well, I could retire right now.
Yeah.
But then I don't know what I do, so I'll keep plumbing for, as long as my health holds out.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you the job. But I mean, it's like you stated. You had a guy, and he was only going to be around 6-8 months. So,
right.
You had to make it. That's the same way when I interview the plumber. How long are you going to be in business?
Yeah. That's a good point.
What's your exit strategy?
Yeah.
You got somebody else going to take over?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Now you know why I email questions.
Sure. So we've got some of the do's. What about some do nots? What are some do nots in the? What are some do nots I shouldn't do
You in particular?
Me in particular, in the case of people who have the health issues that they have.
Be careful with the questions you ask them.
Okay.
You know, some people are more private than others.
Yeah.
You know, do not assume.
Sure.
Be generic and be there. I mean, sorry, I only think the do's.
Yeah.
The do nots.
And that's good, actually. That's really good.
Well, and the do nots, do I have them? Yeah. Does my face get red? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I open mouth, insert foot? More times than you can shake a stick at, but you've learned from every one.
Yeah.
You know, I remember 30 years ago, I had a truck and it was full of plants out of Florida, and I went around and peddled it. You know, I'd back up to the back door of the flower shops. They'd come out. It was all racked, picked out what they want every week. This one shop in particular, I can never forget it because I'm too large to hide. And I walked in and I said, and I don't remember her name, it doesn't matter. The lady who owned it was elderly. She had a little lap dog and the checkbook in front of her and read the mail. And she had other people do the design work. She'd talk on the phone, and she was always fun to visit with. And I walked in there one day and I said, "You want to come out and look at some plants?" "Oh yeah, we'll be right out." I said, we'll just call her Gladys. Her funeral was yesterday. Never forget that. I couldn't hide. All I could do was apologize, and then finally I kept tripping over myself, and you know, what do you do?
Yeah.
So you learn,
Yeah,
right?
You do.
And some of that sticks with you.
Yeah. Good advice.
Well, it's a story. It's not advice. People can take it as advice or say that Ed doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He should have read the obituaries, you know, a little closer.
Yeah.
Because you're always going to have naysayers.
True.
I'm sure you have them with Matt Logan Speaks.
Absolutely.
Yep, pot shots.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I just actually talked on a podcast, I talked to somebody, you know, what do you do with that? Like, I'm still struggling with how to handle that, because I don't really much care for negative things. There are some things, you know, I've had to delete completely off of Facebook that someone's tried to attach to it or whatever. Unfortunately, because I'm busy, sometimes I don't catch it soon enough, and it gets, you know, out there. But I guess hate's a strong word.
It's a 4-letter word also.
It's true. I'm not a fan of people using other people's platforms for their negative, I don't want to say way of thinking, because that's also negative, but for their desire to bring other people down.
You know why? Because they're sitting in front of a keyboard with nobody else in the room, and they got a pair bigger than they really have, and they're going to tell you like it is, because there's no repercussion.
Right.
You know, I've been attacked a few times, and I'll call them up and say, "Let's go for coffee. Let's go eyeball to eyeball." I'll have that conversation.
Yes.
It's just like
And
politics. Politics and religion, the two taboo topics.
Yeah.
And people love to pile on Facebook and social media.
For sure.
But you know what? Let's have a cup of coffee and talk about it.
Yeah.
Eyeball to eyeball.
Yeah.
I'll bet 98% of the people wouldn't show.
Oh, yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you got to consider the source and blow it off.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. It's just that when I feel like there's a level of responsibility when you're doing what we're doing right now in this podcast and things like that, and me trying to put content out there and in a positive way. I think there's a level of responsibility that we have to sort of ignore some of that naysayer, but also not give them the opportunity to use your platform. You know, so I've been condemned. Why did you delete it? You know, you shouldn't have deleted it. And it's like, well, all it's trying to do is, you know, they're just trying to cause trouble.
Yeah.
And I'm not here to cause trouble. I cause enough on my own by accident and without intent.
Nobody's perfect.
Right. And so it's like, I just struggle with that a lot. So, Anyway, I digress.
And I know that's going to be a struggle for me as well.
Yeah.
It's
it's easy to engage it, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, because for whatever reason, human nature is always looking for fault in the next person.
Yeah.
Not always, but most of the population is always finding fault.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the president we have today, the president we had before, all the presidents.
Yeah.
The first ladies cannot decorate the White House right. They're wearing the wrong clothes.
Yeah.
You know, there's always
Every single one of them.
every
Absolutely.
single one, back to, I think Lincoln's wife had good taste. I read it on the internet.
Okay.
But,
It must
you
be
know,
true.
So when you're a public figure, Matt Logan speaks, you're going to get it. It's
Yeah.
coming. You know,
Yeah.
put on your Kevlar, wear a helmet, and
Right.
take the shots.
Yeah.
And don't let it bother you. But it's very hard.
I'm willing to take the shots myself, but what I get frustrated with is people using my platform. Use your own platform. I have the followers and listeners and whatever else's that you want to call it. I do because I feel like of my outlook on life and the things that I'm trying to do in what I feel is positive, way. Take the tragedy and turn that to triumph for not myself, but others in, things like that. So I think that's one of the things to me is that's the dues too, right?
Because you're not trying to be selfish.
For sure. And boy, that's the thing that hits me the hardest was when people say, you're just doing this for yourself. I don't even like my voice, right? And I don't like being in front of a camera. But
Is there a camera on?
there is. And the thing that's so interesting is that I told you off camera. I remember this was off camera. I tried not using my name in multiple things. And I had to actually figure out and embrace that that's important. And it's not important because it's me. It's important because of what I've learned from the tragedies and how I've tried to help others through theirs, right?
Yeah.
That was a hard place for me to come to.
Well, here's the deal. If things in life would be easy, everybody'd be doing it.
Yes. And what I like about what you're saying here is the swimming. You swim through life.
Yeah.
None of us are good at it, but if we just keep doing it and keep learning how to swim.
Keep your head held high.
Yeah. All you have to
And
do
keep
is
paddling.
breathe, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the key to swimming.
Maybe that's why I can't swim.
You just got to keep breathing, keep the nose up. Doggy paddle.
I'm going to try
Use
again in a few
some
months.
natural buoyancy, Ed.
I'm going to try again
Are
in
ya?
a few months. Yeah.
Cruise or
No.
No?
Just a warmer climate.
good? Excellent. Ed, I want you to monologue for a minute and wrap this thing up for us and just tell people really some things that you feel are important to you and that might help them.
Well, everybody has
Edisms, maybe I should have worded it like that.
Yeah, I should have brought one of the edisms that I ran across cleaning my office this week, and I just scratched it on a sheet of paper, and I know my buddy will recognize it. Always make sure your parachute is made out of good material.
Wow.
That covers a lot of ground.
Yeah.
And my sister told me, and I think it's a song, and she'll laugh when she hears this, always trust the cape. And I go, what the heck's a cape? She goes,
Yeah.
don't you remember when we were kids, we took the bath towels off the wash line and we tied it around our necks? And we thought we could do anything, jump off the picnic table, off the swings. You know, fortunately, we didn't get any broken arms, but we trusted the cape.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, it's somewhere
That's
in
good.
a song someplace.
Is it trusting the cape?
I'm going to have to ask her.
Yeah. And then comment once this airs.
No.
You'll have to ask her and then put a comment in on YouTube and everything
Yeah.
of what that song is. People remember it then.
Okay, I can
Yeah.
do that.
Good. What else?
You know, put the past behind you, shed your tears, keep your head held high, and realize it could be worse.
Could be worse, and you're not alone either, right?
No. It's amazing that, like I said early on, the support that came out of the woodwork after my wife passed away.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. I would have, if I'd have had to write down what's going to happen to me afterwards, I'd have probably said I'd have been all right. And I got my marching orders and everything else, but I would have never said the support that people gave me. And the invitations, and that's support. It's a very broad statement, and it's like, really, you want to take me to a football game? You want to take me to the University of Minnesota, and I'm a Hawkeye fan? What? But you go, you have fun, and you realize that's their way of helping you and possibly them, but you don't know that.
Yeah.
You just go and have fun.
Yeah, good. Ed, thanks for being here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks for helping people. Your platform and the tragedy that you've gone through, and you're doing things to help people learn from what you've learned, and I appreciate that very much.
Why wouldn't I?
Good. See you next time.
Thank you.